Poles from a MEC Wanderer 4. You can see I got the shock cord all pulled out here because it's all spent. It's just stretched right out and it's got to be replaced. Yeah, so I'll show you here. I kind of pulled it tight and tied it off as an interim measure just so I could set the thing up. But all of this shock cord is just stretched right out. It's got to be replaced. One of the things I love about MEC, especially when you buy their gear, so I just went in there. They sell replacement shock cord, so I've got some stuff here to replace the stuff that's in there. But not only that, they know exactly how long of the cord is that I'm supposed to use in each of those. They told me 2 4.5 meter lengths and one 1.2 meter length, so I bought enough cord and a little bit extra, and we're going to just replace that here. Alright, so first thing you got to do, you got to get these ends off of here. Sometimes they're really easy to come off, these ones aren't. So you can see I got my friendly neighborhood vice grip and I'm just going to pull it off. Alright, so there's what it looks like. I'm not sure if you've ever done this before. These ones are tied off. Well, you don't necessarily have to do that depending on the... Be quiet for a sec. Depending on the cord you have, you don't necessarily have to tie it off, although it's better if you do. So we're going to be replacing this in a couple minutes. Alright, so I have it laid out on the ground. I'll show you the basic problem here. Is that there's way too much slack in here. Look how high I'm pulling that up, about a meter off the ground. It's completely shot. It doesn't spring back in. It's got to be replaced. So I know that MEC says the short length is 1.6 meters, but we're going to measure it and I'll do the ratio. I'll tell you what they say it's 1.6 meter cord you got to put in there. I'm going to measure how long the actual poles are, and that will give you a ratio of cord length to pole length if you have to do this with a different brand of tent. Yeah. Alright, you on the end there? Whoops, hold it tight please.
Should I put it like over the stubby part?
Yeah, right.
Or right where the cord ends?
Oh yeah, right where the cord ends then, sure. So this is, there's 4.5 meters. That's almost 5 meters. There's 94 centimeters. So it's...
Are you measuring it right where the cord ends?
Yes. I'm measuring it where the cord ends. Now, officially they said I need 4.5 meters of cord. The guy, when I talked to him, said 2 pole lengths shorter. 2 pole lengths shorter is actually about 4 meters. So it's better to cut it too long than too short. So I'll do 4.5 meters first. We'll see how that goes. And if I have to, I will shorten it up some. So let's measure the short length. So what did I say? That's just shy of 5 meters.
And right where the silver part meets the dark gray part.
Yeah.
Right where the cord ends.
So this one is 7 feet or 2 meters and 213 centimeters, basically 214. Alright, so let go. Alright, I just screwed up my video, but we just burned the ends of those to keep them from fraying. I screwed that part up. Alright, so we've got the end pulled. Now I'm just going to tie the new one on there and pull it right through so that it's easy to feed through just by pulling it through. If you were doing this where the poles, where the things were already broken, you got to make sure you know what order the poles go in. That could be important. They're not necessarily all identical segments, but we're going to eliminate that problem by just pulling it through. Alright, now problem, this cord is thicker, the new stuff. When I tie a knot in it, the knot's not going to go into the end. So what you can do is, you don't actually have to have a knot tied in it. Yeah, so with that fold it in half, it's not going anywhere. So pull gently now, just gently. Alright, so pull a bit, a little bit more. Alright, hold on a second, it's in there now. That's not going to unfold in there because it's too tight of a space. It doesn't even have to be tied. So go ahead and pull that through slowly. Keep it going. I'll tell you when to stop whenever it's getting close on this end. Keep going. Is it coming? Yeah.
Oh, I just got caught on one second.
Yeah. Alright. Don't go too fast. Go.
That's just how it does.
Okay, hold on. Stop for a minute. I got to fix this end up now. So same principle here. Okay, go slowly. Go. Stop. Go a little bit slower. Go. Okay, stop right there. So the same principle here. This only has to be doubled over. It doesn't have to be tied when it's going in there. Whoops. Not yet. So when it's going in there, it doesn't have to be tied. It's just doubled over. And put it in gently, and that won't come out like that. And then I'll just push that in the final bit. Alright, and that's not going anywhere. That's not going to come out of there because it's too narrow for it to unfold. Yeah, so you can pull it through until it comes through, till the other cord comes through. Oh shit. What happened?
You didn't tie it.
Frig. Alright, so we did have an issue with not tying it, but you still can't tie it. I was looking for my Gorilla Tape. I couldn't find it. I got plumber's tape. I think this is going to be sufficient. Is just use plumber's tape to tape it like that. It's not tied, so it'll still fit in the tube. So let's try that.
Here, grab the cent firmly.
Alright, so that's come through fine now. We're holding on there. We got to cut this and put the little thing on the
Actually,
end.
know what I could do? I could do that.
No, well... Alright, we did end up having trouble. When we pulled it all the way through, we got to this point and it slipped out. So just to be sure, I've wrapped some electrical tape around it. And yes, electrical tape. And put it back in. So what we're finding is the electrical tape is really sticky on the inside of the poles, and when you're trying to pull the cord through, the electrical tape gets gummed up really quickly. The plumber's tape slides through really easily, but it doesn't hold as well after it's through. So we found that I'm just in the process of taking that electrical tape off. We're going to put the plumber's tape on, pull it through, and then wrap the electrical tape around to hold it in place afterwards. Okay, so now we got the plumber's tape again. It'll pull through here a lot more easily, and then once it's through, we're going to give it a wrap in the electrical tape.
You should give a video demonstration of it being pulled through. And then
Go. Pull. There. So now it slides really easily, thanks to the plumber's tape. Alright, so now it's wrapped up in the electrical, and it's going to hold, it'll hold well. Seems to work really well. Let's see how you put those together, buddy.
So what does this do?
Just put it all, but just put the poles together.
Like a boss.
Like a boss. Yeah, it's holding well. He's used to these tents. It's the same ones we use in Scouts. Yeah. There you go. Oh, it's holding together really well. It wasn't doing that before. It wasn't going together at all. So.
One last boss.
Perfect. Yeah. Job well done. Took us about an hour to replace the shock cord in there.
And I put it together.